All right, I am ready to do this video.
Let's lock and load.
On the that's our saying when we do start the videos.
We always lock and load.
Lock and load, and we load it, and we lock it. I am ready.
Good news, Chris. Before we get started, this is before we don't hit record yet.
Yeah, I didn't.
I figured out a way to get us a boatload of more views on this vid than anything else we've ever done.
Really?
Yeah, I made a deal with a witch. She's gonna hook us up with a demon. We're gonna have 100,000 views in the first 10 minutes of this video.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That is definitely gonna happen.
Yeah, so viewers, I know I just said we weren't recording yet.
Well, obviously.
But check the view count, I'm sure. 100,000 already. Even if you've seen it relatively early. Easily. Just on this video, not the whole channel, just this video.
Yeah, obviously.
So.
Yep. What'd you have to give them? Just like.
Your testicles.
That's what happened to those things? Ian?
Chris.
Tonight, we watched a new Netflix movie called May the Devil Take You.
Sebellum Iblis Mejemput.
Directed by one...
You gonna do it?
Well, I will try a stab, and then I will say with the director how he pronounces it.
Okay.
Timo Tjahjanto?
Tjahjanto?
Tjahjanto? The J is silent or whatever. But on Twitter, Timo says for his pronunciation guide, you
very
pronounce
kind of him to offer that up for us.
You pronounce it Timo fo fucking get about it. All right, so Ian, we watched the May the Devil Take You. What is it about?
It is a story about a man who sold his soul to some lesser demon in order to gain riches and success. Later in life, he's fallen on hard times. He is sick for reasons nobody around him can understand, so his daughter goes out to his villa where she's trying to seek answers to what's wrong with him. And the stepfamily's there too, who she does not get along with. And you're right, hijinks ensue, all kinds of supernatural, paranormal things going on. The tone of this movie is very similar to Evil Dead in some ways.
Which Evil Dead?
Pick one. I mean... I don't know. There's not one specific one that it absolutely nails. It's just kind of in the oeuvre of the franchise.
It's not humorous like Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness.
Not so humorous, but
it does have that Sam Raimi-esque style occasionally.
Yeah. I actually some over-the-top gore and violence. Occasionally, there's creatures that remind you of Deadites.
It kind of reminded me more of the new Evil Dead, but definitely Evil Dead-ish. Yeah.
Ish. It's Indonesian Evil Dead.
It's Indonesian Evil Dead. Yeah. Take that as you will.
Yeah.
Rip-off? No. Heavily inspired by?
Yes.
Probably.
I definitely appreciate that we're getting more really good foreign horror that's available to us pretty readily, like through Netflix and some of these other streaming services. Because sometimes it's just fun to see a different take on what's otherwise. This is a pretty standard kind of a movie in some ways, but just to see a different take on it with different traditions informing, is always really neat to me. It's
we watched the other movie Veronica a while ago, and this is a little more unique. But you could take a very generic horror movie that would be in the theaters here, but when it's got a international flair and style and take and culture, it feels very fresh to me. So I really enjoyed this movie too. It is a fun movie.
Yeah.
However, the first 20 to 30 minutes really establishes an interesting family dynamic and paints your main character as kind of like struggling and she doesn't really fit into this family. She's filled with grief and she feels she's alone. And they show you at the very beginning of the movie that the dad makes a deal with the devil. And I like that idea of showing how one's like selfish act can have its repercussions on all those you love. But then after 30 minutes of that kind of exploration, the movie says, fuck that noise, we're making Indonesian Evil Dead, motherfuckers! And while it didn't turn me off, I just kind of shut my brain off and let the experience take over.
Certainly wasn't as thoughtful a movie as it could have been.
Exactly.
But it was fine.
Yeah, it was still pretty damn fun.
Yeah. Especially because of the way the gore was over the top in places. I'm on for the ride.
Yeah, there was some really cool effects in this movie.
Yeah.
And there was some actual creepy stuff going on. Now, when I sit back and I think about it, I'm like, why the fuck did these things do this? And why did this happen? And like, you could probably pick it all apart because a lot of it probably doesn't really make any sense.
I didn't really choose to do any of that while watching.
Evil Dead kind of does some of that where it's just the Deadites are causing your fucking deer on the wall head to turn and it's mocking you. And whether that's like in your head or it's not, it's kind of stuff like that where, oh, my dresser drawer's opening and there's an evil witch lady in there, but how did she get there and what, like that kind of stuff.
Supernatural in nature.
Supernatural, so it's unexplainable, I guess.
There's no point in explaining it because there is no explanation.
But then that kind of comes to a fault where, for me, like at the end of the movie, the wrap-up is kind of supernatural in nature too, so it doesn't feel like there's no real solution. You can't do the math on the things that happen here and get some sort of definitive answer of how everything wraps up.
Yeah.
I don't think, anyways. I'm not a mathematician.
A smathematician? You're not a smathematician?
But I do have an associate's degree in graphic design.
Forget about it.
I did really like some of the camera work in this movie and the way...
There's something else that contributed to being a Sam Raimi-esque kind of a feel.
Yeah, they had some very like frenetic scenes, like a Sam Raimi kind of thing, and I really liked the setting.
Yeah.
The house was a really creepy in itself, and
really
looked
good set.
really nice.
Well, the opposite.
But
of
I mean,
nice.
it worked perfectly.
Yeah. Definitely had the very like abandoned for a while kind of but it was originally a kind of a luxury villa kind of a vibe to it. Definitely very isolated. Yeah, there's not a lot to delve into in terms of themes. If you're looking hard for a character arc, there's not much there. I would say, other than maybe Alfie's character, maybe being one to run from her problems at the beginning and then having to face that.
There's bad blood between everyone because of what the father did and the loss of all the money and everything. And the mother, not Alfie's mother, but her stepbrother and sister's mother, is just like a money grubber. Doesn't seem like a very nice person, doesn't treat them particularly well. So they're all kind of victims of everything.
But her direct children are very loyal to her,
exactly.
Even though at times they don't feel as though they should be.
But they show like Alfie and Ruben, the stepbrother, they seem sort of close.
Yeah.
They've been away, but they seem sort of close. So I thought, I was like hoping that there was going to be some sort of arc or some sort of revelation that, while all this stuff happened and we're apart, we truly do love each other or will do, you know what I mean? Something. And it's not all about the money and what, you know what I mean? But nothing like that really comes to head. Yeah, so all that family stuff is cool. And again, they say, fuck that noise. We're going to have a lady come out and we're going to peel her fucking face off. And it was badass. That was the kind of stuff. And this movie, the pacing is pretty good. It starts out creepy with some stuff in the hospital. It ramps up from there. And then from that on, the movie pretty much goes.
Yeah. It's a good ride.
It's a very good ride. I had a lot of fun with this movie.
Yep.
It's by no means a perfect movie. It's not memorable like The Evil Dead.
It does what it's trying to do very well, though.
It's fun, and it goes for it in ways that I liked. Had a really good look. The ending's a little bit confusing-ish. Not really... doesn't really resolve too much. I think there's potential for a more memorable film than you get, but I still had a really fun time watching this.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it, especially if you have Netflix. May the Devil Take You. I don't know if it's in English. I watched it in its native language. So
subtitle.
If they don't have that, you might have to read.
Boo-hoo.
Rich, where are you? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Forget about it.
So that's going to do it for this one. My name's Chris.
I'm Ian. And this has been Bad Movie Night. Please join us next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. badmovienight.com. It's getting too rote. Let's change it up again.
Yeah, we need to change that. Let's do it in Swedish. The voodoo scene was neat. Again, not something you haven't seen before, but still.
It's well done.
Well, oh my god, I made a fucking heart attack there. Did you see that?